Hello. Yes, we are here once again for the next episode of A Conversation with Kely. Episode, who knows at this point? And oh my God, we're in a different location. I'm still here visiting Allie, but we're in a different room.
Yeah, just in like upstairs.
Yeah, it's like perfect for podcasting.
So it is Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yes, so cheers to that. Yes. Sponsored by Blueberry Wine, but not actually. We don't have that kind of sponsorship. But anyway, no. In all seriousness, we want to get some more videos done before I sadly leave tomorrow, which is going to be, really sad. But I figured that I'm here for just a few more hours, not a few more hours, but like little under 24 hours. So I'm very excited to get to do this again. And of course, as usual, we are going to be talking about the week that was in Big Brother 25. But before we get into all that, I am here, my lovely co-host, Ellie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. We've just been chilling today.
Yes.
Went for a walk. Bless you.
Thank you.
Drink your water and protect your health.
Well, in this case, drink your blueberry wine.
For today, yeah. Because it's Thanksgiving.
But it's very good.
It's like sweet.
I'm not much of a wine person either, so
yeah.
The fact that I think it's good says a lot.
Great. Yeah, same. But anyway, we just went for a walk today and we've just been watching stuff. And then doing this podcast, this and then Survivor. But yeah, we're just kind of chilling and vibing today for his last day.
I know it's definitely sad, but we are going to get into this week, and it should be very exciting. What's not very exciting is the week we're about to talk about, because it was there was a lot riding on this week. I feel like we just had a week of basically nothing happening aside from like 2 comps and things like that. And now going into this week, I was excited to actually get back into the game and things like that. Unfortunately, though, I found this week to be just incredibly boring, very straightforward. There was a possibility that something more exciting could have happened, but alas, that was not the case. And I will say we ended on a pretty fun note, but most of the week, I mean, we do not have a lot to talk about, even though it's probably still going to be over an hour because that's just how this season's coverage has gone. But what did you think of this week overall before we jump into it?
I didn't really like it that much. No. It was definitely not as good as prior weeks. It was just very boring.
Yeah.
Especially for spoilers, a fucking Cameron HOA.
Yep.
Again.
And also it was
was
the final week before jury, so like it should be a lot more exciting than it actually was.
Yep.
So
it was not very exciting.
No, it really wasn't. But with that said, we're still going to talk about the week here. We have a lot to discuss that did end up going down. So we're going to just jump into it right now. So we start off and we see, also fun fact, we've tried to do this video before. We did it the other day and it just was not the right time to do it. We were both really tired. She was back from work. So
we're actually doing it live.
Yeah. So that's exciting. On Canadian Thanksgiving for those that celebrate.
All right. So with Jared gone, Cameron is feeling ecstatic and cannot believe he worked himself back into the game, and now it's time to gear up for the HOH and play this game.
Yep.
Cirie is feeling sad, knowing how badly Jared wanted to be here, but the gloves are off now, and she doesn't know anything, and the people she loved are gone, and now they're all just strangers and vultures and serpents.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cirie is doing what she needs to do at this point. She's kind of realizing that like emotional stuff, she kind of needs to like detach from that. She can't really get too close to anybody because that's happened with Izzy, and Izzy's gone. So now it's kind of all about her just kind of being the Cirie that people are used to, where she's just like someone that, scoops up people, but isn't actually like fully loyal to them, but also is like in a much like stronger position than them. I think she's doing a really good job, especially for somebody who has expressed, especially over the past couple of weeks, she doesn't really want to be there anymore. She's not really playing that way. She's still doing really well, I feel like.
Yeah, she's definitely like checked out with like Jared and Izzy gone.
Well, she's been checked out even before they left.
Yeah, but like she's still like fighting.
Yeah. I think it's more so just the experience is not what she expected it to be. Like I think she expected it to be more like Survivor, and it's very much not that.
It's like way.
Yeah, it's way less faster paced than Survivor, so it does a lot.
Oh yeah. So Dragon Stoke Cameron die as he wanted to come back with the fugitives.
Ugh. I mean, I will say Cam has built like a solid footing and things like that, so I'll give him that. I just hate that it's Cam.
Same. Cirie and Blue are comforting each other as they are both upset over Jared leaving. Felicia comes over and helps her and says this just means it's how it was supposed to be, and now they just need to focus on winning the HOH.
I thought this was a sweet scene.
Oh yeah, I think their friendship has been like really sweet, especially like lately. Like they definitely kind of hate each other too. I think they'll be kind of like this duo as well, but like a very low key duo.
Yeah, I think so.
So Blue says she's going to miss her Pooh Bear, having someone to strategize with, talk to, or relax with. She has one goal in mind: to get that key and be Miss HOH and avenge Jared.
Yep.
So America talks about how her and Cory have an alliance with Matt and Jack, but also one with Mimi and Felicia. But if she isn't sure if she can trust that one, so she's hoping one of them can pull off and get this win.
Yeah, we'll talk about America and Cory in a little bit. Listen, I love them as personalities. I think they're very fun to watch. I think they're honestly one of the better showmances we've had in like a very long time. Like they're just very like endearing and fun to watch.
Very wholesome.
Game players though, oof.
Yeah.
Bad.
They're bad game players, but like they're very wholesome and very fun and silly, and they're so unserious.
Yeah, but gameplay wise, they are really bad, especially this week.
Yeah. So Cirie says this HOH is critical for her as she has no one protecting her with Jared and Izzy gone.
Yeah.
Bowie is excited for this HOH as the power has shifted, and with Jared gone, it's broken up a lot of groups, and she doesn't want any of her former alliance members to win as they have burned her, and she wants to work with those that haven't. Then Blue wants to avenge Jared and get Cory on the block.
Mm-hmm.
Mimi is feeling like she needs to win this as she's the only person she can depend on.
Which, spoilers, yeah, she very much did need this.
Oh yeah. Cam is feeling good about a lot of deals that were made, and though he's working closely with Matt and Jag, there's a lot he's heard about that he wasn't a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see a flashback to day 56 in which America basically spills the pour that Mimi and Felicia made with her and Cory. Like,
yeah, like I get that she doesn't trust the alliance with Mimi and Felicia. And here's the thing. Mimi and Felicia were never like that serious about it. It was always like kind of like a secondary thing for them. Yeah. But here's the thing. When you make a group like that, if you stick to it, it could actually become a lot more important. Mm-hmm. The perfect example of this is last BB Can season with Daniel and Anika, and then making that group with like Claudia and Shania. They weren't that serious about it at first. And then the more Claudia and Shania like kept putting more effort into it, and Daniel and Anika kind of started to realize that like, oh, this is actually like a good path forward for us. And I do think that like, had things played out differently, I think they could have potentially been like the final four of that season. So like, cool. Yeah, like if Shania didn't go, I think there honestly was a strong possibility. Fucking tie. But yeah.
It was like manipulating a tie.
Yeah. Yeah, which was, really bad move all around. But I think the difference with this is like this, and I think, the comparison is that this could have been something similar where it's like, it starts off as like kind of like a side thing, but then evolves into something much more prominent. And I think there was potential for that to happen, but because America and Cory can't keep their fucking mouths shut, especially America, actually, no, I'd say this is more Cory's doing than America at this point. Especially, America and Cory, and them having this loyalty to Jag and Matt who don't feel the same way about the two of them. It's just really not great.
Yeah.
And also, why are you saying this to Jag and Matt? Like, why do you I don't understand why they trust them so much. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, because America wants to be fully transparent with Matt and Blue to make them feel safe and didn't even realize Cam was overhearing everything.
Which, like, okay, I get it. Sometimes you can, like, miss, you can, like, kind of, like, overlook things. But, like, at this point, it's literally Final 10. Like, you should be able to tell who's where. You should just kind of be aware of, like, the conversation that you're having. Like, America could have easily, like, pulled Blue or Matt aside and then talk to them about this. I don't know why she needed to do this when Cam was literally like right there. Mm-hmm. It was just very frustrating.
Cam feels this HOH is that much more important since deals have been made without him.
Yeah, I mean, for him, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So it's time for the HOH comp. They will have to assemble a Martian puzzle so the Martians can get back home. When the Martian beacon blares, they may begin to take their spaceship pieces to the launch pad, where they must assemble the rocket, which has been broken into 14 pieces. Once they have correctly assembled it, they will race back to the beginning of their lane and hit their button to send their aliens back home to the BB comic verse. Whoever is the speediest space cadet to correctly assemble and launch their rocket will be the new HOH.
Yeah. So I do want to say right off the bat, I think it's really funny that everyone kept saying that like the Battleback comp was going to be the Caitlin puzzle, and that's basically what this was. It was a puzzle of sorts. With that being said, it's not the kind of puzzle that is equitable for everybody. This is a comp that very much involves like running back and forth. It's a lot of really big pieces. So it's really not shocking with like how this comp turned out, but it's just really like infuriating to watch because this is like such a good cast. They all want HOH like so badly. There's so many things that could have played out differently this season if like the comps are even slightly more fair for everybody involved, because right now like there's too many comps that are geared towards muscular men, and it's just making things a lot less interesting to watch when the same people just keep winning.
There's way more
and you would think that would kind of clue them into like, maybe we should make this so it's a little bit more fair. But you know, fucking Allison Grodner's got to stand the muscular, mediocre, you know, white men. So
like, I'm sure she's like
or men in general.
For Cameron and Matt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So after a lot of puzzling and many runnings of back and forth, it comes down to Matt, Jag, Blue, and Cameron.
Oh my god, I'm so shocked it came down to Matt, Jag, and Cameron.
I mean, we love Blue being in there.
But it was not close. Like it was, those three were very much like, you know, Blue was like fourth.
Definitely. But with Cameron winning HOH to as usual, everyone's dismay, and therefore has secured a spot in jury.
Yeah. Listen, I'll get this out of the way.
The twist wasn't that.
Yeah, I'll get this out of the way right now. I know there's people that are fans of Cam, and that's fine. I don't understand it. I'm never going to understand it.
Same.
I do think on paper, like, this is really exciting. The person that just got out just won HOH. Nobody expected him to. It's, like, really unprecedented. Nobody really knows what he's going to do in this scenario. The problem is Cam just has like zero likability and zero like redeeming qualities
and zero personality.
Yeah, I just can't root for him. Like if he was even slightly more interesting, I would be like, oh my God, this is so great. But there's nothing to latch onto when it comes to Cam, and all the things that are memorable about him are negative, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, I can't be excited for this at all.
Yeah, he's not likable at all. He's just not a good person.
Yeah, I think we knew once he won HOH, so like this week probably was not going to be great.
No. So Blue with that, she has lost to Cameron after getting so close every single time. But Cameron winning HOH is the worst case scenario for her, and they're actually starting to work together.
I think she would have put up Cory probably if she was HOH.
I think she would have done like Cory and Bowie.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe Cory and
I think she mentioned that.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, something like that. Excuse me.
You all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a little tickle.
Yeah, it happens. You want water or anything?
Okay, right now.
Okay.
So Cirie is annoyed Cameron won HOH again, but is glad the rest of the house has to deal with it.
Yep.
Felicia is feeling Cam is putting her up again since he did so last time, and he's like a knot that won't go away.
Yeah, like a gnat. No, it's a gnat, not a knot.
Oh.
Like a gnat, like a bug.
Yeah.
What?
So Cam is very happy to have won, as he just spent the week prior making plans that he wanted, and he's hoping all the groundwork he did last week paid off.
Yep.
Mimi is annoyed that everything seems to be going Cameron's way, with him winning this with his way back and then winning HOH. Yep, true. And it's not good for her, as he's a wild card and keeps taking shots at people she's aligned with.
Yeah.
And then Cory is indifferent with Cameron winning for the 39th time, which was really funny.
I thought that was funny.
Thinking this should be an easy week for him, as he has a decent relationship with him.
Yeah, Cory, listen, again, I really like Cory. I think that he's a very fun guy to watch. Reminds me of myself in like many ways at points, just like the way he like expresses himself and stuff. He is so fucking cocky this week, and it really bites him in the ass.
Oh yeah. He feels so safe, and they don't even have that good of a relationship at all.
I don't understand why he feels so good this entire week.
He shouldn't. So Cameron tells Cirie that the last thing Jared said to him was to take care of her, and he promised him that he would.
Which I think this was good. I think this was good. He knows that Cirie's kind of alone, needs allies. Like, hey, I can be an ally on your side. That is the one thing I will give Cameron this week. He does not go for Cirie, and we love that.
We love that. But I mean, spoilers, he still puts up 2 black women.
Yes, we don't love that,
No.
but we do like that he is at least loyal-ish to Cirie.
Yeah. So Cirie says Cameron is a beast, so what better ally to have in this house than him? And she feels so alone, she's going to have to consider trying to work with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, like, just take whoever. Like, anyone that's presenting you, just take them. That's what Cirie does well. Okay, so we get the segment with Jag where he talks to Matt that America Cory are working with everyone. They will have to figure out how to navigate what they're working with because there's Cory and America that they're working with, and now there's Blue, but there's also Cam. And the 3 of them should try and lock in something. Jag is feeling very stoked with Cam winning. He wants to hear his targets this week, and the America Cory are playing a smart game, and he wants to get together as a group and discuss it. I will say, I know people aren't liking Jag, but I do like seeing him more of like this power position now because, you know, early on in the game, he was like really just not playing well at all. He was like buying into narratives that like didn't make sense. He was
he's obviously like the last couple of weeks he's been doing really well.
Yeah, I think he's definitely like improved as a player, so I will definitely give him.
He's the best player ever.
No, he's still
better. He's improved.
He still has the same issue where like he can't seem to like let things go. I think that's like his biggest flaw, but I do think he has insulated himself a lot better than he did in the early days of the game.
Okay.
So I'll definitely give him that. So Felicia talks to Mimi about how annoying it is that Cameron has won his 3rd HOH, and it could very well be the both of them on the block, especially with him being a wild card and never really knowing who is going to be his target, which we'll get into that. And then this episode takes a really strange turn. We didn't talk about this enough. This is a really weird episode. It almost feels like 3 episodes in one because that HOH comp we talked about, they spend a lot of time on. That's like the first like 20, 30 minutes of the episode.
Yep. And then most of it is filler.
We get like
to be unless it's like the end.
We get a bunch of like weird filler segments in here. And listen, I'm all here for filler segments if they can find a way to like integrate some sort of strategy or get us to know something about these players. This filler was giving me vibes of like the recap episode at the end of the show. Like most of it was not necessary at all. I don't think honestly any of it really needed to be in this episode. And
like some of them were like funny or like endearing to watch. Just they were kind of like just there.
I just found it really weird that they did this, especially like the last week before jury. I thought it was a strange time to do this. But we get a filler segment of Mimi reading a quote from Emily Dickinson. No one seems to know anything about him except for Cam. We get an elongated montage of everyone in the diary room trying to decipher what she's famous for. Cirie is baffled by Cam, basically saying like, she's trying to teach Mimi about this, as she didn't even go to high school and knows who Emily Dickinson is. Yeah, I thought the quote from Cirie was funny, but the whole segment was basically just like everyone being like, it's an author and things like that. And, it's an author. Oh, she's a writer. Oh, she's famous for this. It didn't really give me much of anything. Like there's nothing for us to really talk about here. So we immediately go from this to another filler segment with Cory talking to Cirie, which I will say, out of the filler segments we've got, and this was probably the one where I'm like, okay, at least this gives us something to talk about. Because we know that Cory is like a huge super fan of Survivor. So we get this moment where he's talking to her about Survivor, and she expresses that she's quite annoyed by it. She's expressed this before. She wants to be Cirie the person, not Cirie the Survivor player. That's kind of how she's wanted to play the entire game. She doesn't want to be just defined by that, which I can totally understand. And he doesn't seem to recognize this. He keeps spouting off different facts about seasons to her. And, I like this segment. I thought it was fun to watch. I especially like the ending where Cirie's like, oh, thank God I'm getting called to the diary room right now. Like she was like so excited to go there. But again, we already got a segment kind of like this in the first couple episodes of this season when Cory is talking to her about Survivor and facts about her and things that she's famous for, and her telling him, like, listen, I don't want to just be like someone that talks about Survivor all the time. I feel like we already kind of gotten that here. So I don't really understand why this was like such a necessary segment. It was fun to watch for sure. And I think out of the four, it was easily the most entertaining. But it just, there's not really much to talk about here. So we cut from the filler segments. Yeah, I guess. So we cut to the filler segments with unfortunately a very boring segment of Matt, Cam, and Jag doing their hand signal for their alliance. We get a segment of them talking about being called the fugitives, especially since both Jag and Cam have been both voted out unanimously. Yeah, sure. I hate that this is like, I think, no, they're pointing like they're Spider-Men. No, they're pointing at each other like they're Spider-Men. It's really annoying.
It's like,
yeah. I like Jag and Matt's, but I don't like them being in this like dominant position, saying like we're gonna win everything and things like that. You can't really blame them necessarily because they're not lying. Like they are probably gonna win everything because at this point it's not equitable towards anyone else. But like, I don't know. This was just annoying. Cam is saying that he's taking the time to show he's loyal despite having knives in his back, though he doesn't completely trust Matt and Jag right now. He does see a solid path forward with them, and he needs to make sure his target is someone he doesn't want in the jury house. So Cameron asked them who they want to target because if they're going to set up a hit list, jury starts next week. Jag mentions Mimi as a suggestion because she most likely would be willing to take a shot at them since she's not working with them. Cam then brings up Felicia and Matt brings up Cirie. Of course, all the fucking black women. We love that. What the fuck? Yeah.
Literally every nomination this whole season have been POC.
Well, if a white man has been, or a white person has been HOH, yeah. Yeah. So Cam brings up Felicia. No, we don't. So basically, Cameron agrees they all know she's going to have to go, but this whole time he's been thinking Cory would be the immediate threat first, and Jag agrees he would make a move sooner than later. Cameron says he loves the guy, but game-wise, he's very dangerous from this point on, and Matt says he saw how well he rallied taking Jared out. Jag says they have to think about who's just the most dangerous, but who's the most shifty, and I actually agree with this. I think at this point in the game, being dangerous isn't actually dangerous for you. If you're in the position where that Matt, Cameron, and Jag are, you use those dangerous players to like get stuff done. That's what you do. Like you get stuff done when you can't win. You worry about the people that are most likely to turn on you. And Cory 100% is that person. So I think Jag is correct here when he's saying like worry about who's the most shifty, not who's the most dangerous. So Cameron says he's taking away everything the fugitives have to say, the perspective wholeheartedly into account. But with Matt and Jag, he's always going to do what he believes to be best for him. So he's actually really willing to be loyal to the fugitives, which I think is very much going to be his downfall at the end of the day, the fact that he trusts them so much. I will say he has put in good work in like sticking to them and things like that. But I mean, I feel like if Cam was an HOH, and I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think if Cam was not HOH, do you think Matt and Jag would have still stuck to this alliance? Or do you think they would have just turned on it immediately?
I think they were really just trying to like stay on the good side.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think they're actually like completely.
They are very fluid players, and their mind seems to change like week to week. So I feel like they would have probably just turned on this immediately. So then we get another filler segment here, which, you know, we love these filler segments. It's about Mimi being a neat freak and spraying everything with disinfectant and spraying the funk away.
This was funny, but it was just
this
like,
one especially was like, why is this here? Like this very much gave me the vibe of like a recap episode. I don't understand why we needed this. I love Mimi. I love watching her.
She barely got much of it.
But like, what was the point of this?
Yeah, she didn't really, especially in Thursdays.
Yeah, that's true. Which is interesting because, you know, we'll talk about that. But this followed up by yet another filler segment about how America hasn't known how to kiss until a year ago. Apparently, she's been embarrassing herself in public and has been kissing washing machine style. Which, if you don't know what washing machine style is, it's like this. You just like go around your tongue.
This wasn't really funny segment, but it was just filler.
Yeah, again, nothing much to talk about here. No one has told her anything for 10 years, apparently, even though she's kissed that way. Cory's surprised that she's the one teaching him how to kiss because he never has had that problem. I did like the montage of everyone like imitating her kissing washing machine style. Thought that was kind of a funny moment. But again, like, what was the point of this? Like, why was this here?
Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, so again, really random segment. Cory says they have a great relationship, and unlike anyone else in the house, he hasn't really betrayed Cameron, so he's going to make sure he maintains his relationship and keep building upon it. And this is an extremely awkward conversation. Just the way
it's so bad.
I don't understand how Cory couldn't read the room here. Like, I feel like this was just such an awkward conversation, and it just like, ugh. So he talks to Cameron about how hard it must be to have to play this constant survival game. Cameron admits if he lost any of the comps he did, he was gone. He talks about how he's had to fight his way out, and they will have a lot of weeks now, and it's just people need to not freak out and screw up, and he feels very comfortable because he needs him here to win some competitions to take out people, and the fact that they both made it here throughout all this shit, he doesn't want to waste it now, and there's gas in the tank, and he's got a new wind, and he asked what he wants him to do this week, if he just wants him to just chill out and vote out whoever, and he says he'll play in veto. Cameron tells him that to play and have fun because he loves that. Again, just the way Cory is handling this, like, what the fuck? Like, first of all, don't tell somebody you're just keeping them to win comps. That's not good.
No, don't do that.
But also, don't just assume that, like, you're good. Like, he doesn't even ask Cam if he's good. He just, like, assumes that he is, and he just assumes things, and that's, like, not good. It's very much his downfall. Cameron even says he doesn't understand why he feels so comfortable. He feels the persona Cory's projecting will be his downfall. Yeah, I agree with him on this. I think Cory is just really laying it on thick at this point. And I think that he thinks he's in this like amazing position, but he's not where he was like 2 weeks ago. And he needs to recognize that. And I don't understand why he can't. So he says he's forgotten the chaos he likes to stir. No one should be comfortable with him as HOH, which is true considering how he handled the last one. So Cameron says the best part of being HOH is everyone coming in with their little black book and start throwing out names like a small town rapper. At a time like this, he takes in as much information as he can. So he talks to Blue a little bit, who tells him that she had a conversation and she really needs Cory out of the house and needs to break him, Matt, and Jag up. He talks to Bowie, says he's got two options. He's running through his head. And then he talks to Felicia, and we get this very long conversation between them. And I'm not going to lie, it's a very uncomfortable conversation, the way this plays out. Because she asks him why they haven't talked game this whole season, and she doesn't understand why, which is true. He hasn't even tried to talk game with her. And he says that he thought she was talking game with everyone else, and he was just there when he needed to do something. And she talks about how she asked him several times what his thoughts or plans were, and he didn't respond. So she just left it there because she's not a pusher in all her conversations. And I thought Felicia handled herself very well in this. I heard people say that like they didn't think she did the greatest job of campaigning. I think she did a great job here.
I think so too. She did amazing.
Yeah. He said, especially considering the position she's in, he says that he never thought there was an invitation for game talk, and it was her more her side plan things, and he was kind of left there to do what he needed to do. And it's a matter of intent versus impact. And all that time over the past month, his name was getting dragged out like he was some kind of evil monster, because you are being called a liar and manipulator. And she says everyone is chasing because he really is the number one player in the house, and everyone knows that. And she works off of feelings and gut feelings, and her gut is telling her that he's putting her on the block this week. And he asks her if this is a standoff. She says she doesn't do that. He says that she's a hell of a competitor and who is the greatest persuader in the house. And she correctly says, I mean, Cirie Fields is in the house, who, despite how much she loves her, has done a ton of underhanded work, and she'd like to go as far as she can. She's not ready to stop playing. And he asked her if he was sitting in those two chairs at the end, if he has her vote of winning. And she says as long as she's not sitting next to him, she would vote for him, as he has played a hell of a game, and he thinks that she's lying. And he, for some reason, thinks she's lying here, even though she literally just said, yes, I vote for you in the end. He's so convinced that she's lying. And she says that she wouldn't. He would need 4 votes, and she'd be one of them. And she says she's asking him to let her keep playing the game. Cameron says that he needs to target someone he doesn't need in the jury house, which is the most important decision thus far. Again, just such a uncomfortable conversation all around. I feel like just the way he talks to Felicia, I don't understand. He makes her, he makes her feel small. He makes her feel like she's not important to him. Completely
and she's like half the day, and she's way better than him.
Yeah, he's completely counted her out for virtually no reason whatsoever. In fact, last week he was also talking like massive shit about her, and I just don't understand like the hate he has for Felicia. Like, what is the reasoning here? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Even when he knows that like Felicia is not this like mastermind of the house, he still wants to push this narrative that she is. It's just, oh my God, it's so frustrating.
And then don't forget when he called Cirie and Felicia maids.
Yeah, we don't. That's also like really disgusting. Yeah, we don't like that at all. So, yeah, basically, yeah. So that's kind of where he stands right now. It seems like he's going for Felicia, and there's really nothing she can do to talk herself out of it, despite how good of a fight she did put up here.
She did whatever she could, and she killed it.
Yeah. Now, the one part they did not show, probably because they show it more in the next episode, is she was trying to push Cory and America here. The way she did it, I didn't love. I didn't love her saying to Cam that, like, you want America all to yourself, get Cory out this week.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
I feel like the way she could have pitched this was like, Cory and America view you as a 3, and they want to take, like, they're always going to see you as their 3rd. And if you don't want to be somebody's 3rd, you need to go for one of them so you can then be, you know, their number 1 instead of each other. I think that is a more effective pitch. And it's not even that I think what Felicia said wasn't effective. It's just the narrative that she's pushing is one that is like very problematic, and it's entertaining this narrative to Cam that really should have been shut down like a long time ago. Like, I don't understand why production hasn't intervened and told him, like, don't say misogynistic stuff like that. Don't say stuff like that about America. Because they are always going to protect their white men. That's why. I mean, the only reason they got rid of Luke was because Twitter told them to at this point. Like, it has to be that. That's definitely why they did it. But yeah, I don't like what she was pushing, but I do think she handled herself very well in this conversation, despite how little Cam actually wanted to talk to her.
So he then talks to Mimi, who tells him he should be proud of himself as a fan of the show. And now being a competitor, it's been amazing to watch. She asks him how he's feeling going into this week, and he says he thinks she knows the vibe and he's not going to be weird about it. But assures her she isn't in danger or a target, and he thinks she knows what they need to do. So he says he loves her as a person, and there isn't any malice or intention of hurting her game. Ugh.
You sure about that?
Sure, Cam. He wants her to know she's good, and he wouldn't make this move if it did. And he doesn't want her to feel weird around him, and she's not in danger and will be just fine. She doesn't like how cryptic he is being and doesn't like the vibe of her going up as a pawn.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, she should. I don't blame her.
I don't blame her at all. Like, the way Cam talks in this house, he talks in code. Like, he doesn't even tell you what he's doing. He's like, you might be in danger this week. Like, he doesn't even say stuff like that. He's like, oh, well, you've had a good run in this house or thing. Like, he dances around things. It's so annoying. And I don't think he realizes, like, he's in jury now. Like, he should be doing a better job of, like, being straight up with people. And the fact that he's not, like, it's definitely going to be his downfall.
Definitely. Like, he's just really bad.
Yeah.
So, and even if she isn't the target this week, she needs to watch out. She's trying to keep it cute. And we'll see a different side of her. Her last nerve has diminished, and if she stays, she's coming for him.
I really wish. And listen, I love Mimi a lot, but I will say right now, I think she was disappointing this week. I think there was a lot more she could have done, and the fact that she didn't, I was definitely very let down.
Yeah, she definitely just didn't fight as hard as she should have been, like, which is like not very good because, like, I had such high hopes for her preseason.
I've had high hopes of her all season, to be honest with you.
Same.
I just feel like she did not put in the effort that she needed to this week, and it really fucked her over.
Yeah.
So.
So it's time for the nomination ceremony. After making it pretty clear what his intentions were, Cameron goes ahead and nominates Felicia and Mimi.
Don't like that.
No. His reasoning for Felicia is because of how many conversations she has had within the house, which makes her a tremendous competitor. With Mimi, he's putting her up as he's had to sit next to his best friends in the house all season.
First of all, no, you haven't. You've had to sit next to Reilly and you've had to sit next to Red.
Mm-hmm.
Since when were you besties with Hisam? Like, that's not something that happened. Like,
yeah. And literally after the season, he's probably going to go back and try and chase Reilly.
And also, like, he's only been on the block 3 times now. This narrative does not, or 4 times now. This narrative does not work anymore.
No.
And when he was, who was he on the block against when he was on the block? When he like actually left.
America.
Yeah, he hasn't been like best friends with America either.
Nope.
So he's been weird towards her, but I wouldn't call them friends.
Say that either. They were really just like she was just trying to work her social game. That's it. So Cameron says Felicia is 100% his target. He nominated her before and doesn't want her in the jury house.
Also, we're going to Tuesday's episode now, which I will say.
Well, not yet.
Oh yeah.
Pretty soon. And doesn't want her in the jury house and doesn't think she'd vote for him, especially with Mimi being her best friend in the house, and he can't have her winning the veto. So Cory says Cameron was a little bit chaotic last time he was HOH. Yeah, right? He was nervous maybe something unexpected would happen. But this time he came through. He didn't go rogue. He made the easy nominations and he can take a deep breath.
We'll see.
So Felicia is annoyed. She's back on the block, and Cameron makes her nauseous. Hey, same.
Yeah.
She would say it caught her off guard, but she's trying to figure out what his ankle is on. He is so set on getting her out of the house, and she's hoping to win. And then Mimi feels this is bullshit and can't wait to go out there and play her ass off, and they will have to drag her out of this veto comp because she refuses to leave unless she has the veto in her. And then that's how it ends. And then
so very strange episode, as we said. A lot of like weird filler stuff. And I will say Tuesdays is a little bit better, but I wouldn't necessarily call it good either. There's a lot of stuff here that just isn't great. Yeah,
it's definitely better for sure, but not great either.
Yeah.
All right. So Cam says Felicia is his number 1 target, and Mimi is the most likely person to take her off the block, and he can't have that. Can't have her stay in the house when she likely won't vote for him in the jury. So Cory says he's relieved with these nominations because although he and America are in a 4-person alliance with Mimi and Felicia, it's not nearly as real as their alliance with Matt and Jag. So he's happy his actual allies are safe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Felicia feels Cameron's real problem is he doesn't know how to connect with people. He's only been here because he knows how to win comps. Well, she's here because of who she is, and she'll take it all day over him winning comps.
Fucking preach, honestly. Like, Felicia just keeps it real, and I'm here for it.
Like, he has no personality. All he does is well is comps.
Yeah, like if he didn't win those comps, he wouldn't be here.
Yep. True.
He would have gone out when Red did.
Definitely.
And he would not have been the do or die. But then we might have had Red back in the house, so.
I mean, I'd rather take Red over Cameron.
I mean, yeah, Red was a way worse player than Cameron, but yeah.
Like, at least he's not as creepy.
He was just clueless.
Yeah, he was clueless for sure. He wasn't creepy.
I mean, he did call America fast, which we don't
like. We don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, some of his comments aren't great, but I mean, he was definitely a little better than Cameron.
He was just clueless.
Oh, yeah. So, Cirie says early on her, Felicia and Izzy were labeled as running the games. So, sorry. Cirie says early on, her, Felicia, and Izzy were labeled as running this game, so now she just wants to blend into the wallpaper.
Yeah, I like that she recognizes, like, her positioning here. Like, she can't really do much this week, because if she does, she's going to, like, that narrative's going to come back to haunt her.
Yep. She just has to vibe this week.
Yeah, especially because, like, go back to 2 weeks ago, I mean, it would probably have been, like, if the do or die twist did not have happened, there was a very good possibility that Cirie just goes out right after Jared. Because they were that adamant about taking her out.
Yeah.
So
Mimi is heartbroken being next to Felicia because she's her final 2 in this game. And even though Cameron told her she's the pawn this week, she can never feel too safe. So her only option is to secure the veto.
Yep.
Mimi talks to Jag and Blue, and they are going over the days for the comps. And all of a sudden, they notice a scary face in the mirror, resembling the Exorcist.
First of all, I just have to say, like, I don't understand how they were able to have The Exorcist as a sponsor for this show because it's Universal and this is CBS. I'm not understanding how that whole thing works.
Yeah, I was like shook about that.
This takes up like way too much of the episode. Like this is why I don't like themed HOH, like themed comps. They take up way too much time, and this is definitely the case when it comes to this. It also helps that the movie in question is not very good. I haven't reviewed it yet, but spoilers, it's not good. So
yeah, it's not. It's just I didn't hate it, but it was just okay.
You haven't even seen the original.
Not yet.
What the hell?
Not yet. I will watch it.
It's sacrilegious.
I will. So Jag says this is the scariest thing that's happened this whole time, and he's been evicted Yunnan.
Yeah. I did think that was a funny line.
That was really funny. Cirie and Felicia are also scared by the creepy girls in the mirror, which Felicia is ready to prepare for.
Yeah. And then we get another really like random segment here.
Yeah, this was just like weird. I mean, it was cute, but it was also random.
Yeah, this would have fit in with the last episode with all the filler.
Honestly. America and Cory talk about the U.S. Constitution, which is one of America's favorite things to talk about with him, as it makes his nerdy side pop out, which he finds very hot and can't get enough of.
I mean, they're cute, but like, what's the point of this?
Like, literally, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Cory says America lives up to her name, which is funny.
That was funny.
And nothing gets her going like some good old shining fathers, and he salutes that he's reporting for duty.
I did think that was funny.
That was hilarious. Woo.
Ooh. Everybody salute.
Weird. So Cameron says that the last HOH was extremely chaotic as he's kept his cards closed, and this HOH he's playing it much more straightforward, and he has nothing to hide.
Okay. So Felicia talks to Cam, and we get another very infuriating conversation between these two where she says that she wants to talk some strategy with him as to what his plan is really going to be going forward. He asks what she's talking about, and she asks if he trusts her long enough to play a game with her. He tells her he has no intent in working with her going forward, which is so bad, let me just say, because he is not even considering the possibility that she can win. And why is that? Because Matt, Jag, and Cameron have convinced themselves that Felicia cannot win a comp. That's literally what this is all about. They don't show it in the episode, but like they were going on about it so much that I wanted Felicia to win the veto so badly to like rub it in their faces and be like, yes, I can fucking win a comp. Don't underestimate me. I wanted to see her do that so bad. We do kind of get a moment. We do kind of get a moment like that with her later on, but it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. So he tells her he has no interest. Oh, I just read that. So he says she's very good talking to people and he doesn't want her in the jury house. And she realizes that she's the target here. And she says she's offended by this. He says he's sorry about that, wants to tell her how he feels. And she asks why put up Mimi. And he says he wants her to sit next to the one person that has a shot of saving her. And she says she thinks there's a much bigger target this week and brings up how Cory has been saying that she approached him to have a Final Four with America and Mimi. And Felicia talks about how Cory's been running his mouth, saying that she approached him when in reality he came up to her. He's initiated a lot of he said, she said conversations, and this plays the innocent 22-year-old that he is. So she's hoping that by mentioning this to Cameron, it will make him sniff down Cory's name, sniff down Cory's tell instead of hers. So tomorrow is the most critical veto for her, and she wants to win to then turn around and asks him what she really did. So when she brings this up to him, he says that he knows this because, Cam just knows everything. This is how he's been the entire game. He says he knows who the powerful players are, but also is always strategic, and it doesn't matter how well she does in competitions. It matters how well she competes in every conversation. She's a competitor. She says conversating is what she does, and he says that she is a threat. She says she better get busy because she will see him next week, and Cameron says that Cory is definitely dangerous, but Felicia is indeed his number one target. So even though they've had this whole conversation about how Cory's more dangerous, he still can't get off the Felicia train. He's fucking ridiculous.
He's literally obsessed with her this week.
Yeah, it's so stupid. So Blue talks to Cam and Matt, and she asks what his conversation with Felicia was like. He says that it was nuts, explaining how he nominated her, and Blue says that Felicia is so much more of a threat, and Matt says that her persuasion makes her a threat. So Blue says that she wishes Cam would target Cory instead of Felicia because he's a huge threat to her game. He's well connected with people in the house, put her on the block during the double, but Cameron is really gunning for Felicia, and she can't go against him because they just started working together. So Cameron says he doesn't even know what's going to happen, but it should be fun. And Matt says that he's praying his name gets drawn, and Blue says that she wants to play too. So it's time to then pick players for the veto competition. And this was a very important one, I feel like, considering the fact that, like, there's a lot on the line here. Like I said, I was really hoping that Felicia would pull out this veto, but we see that Cam is hoping to pick Matt's name because he's in the Fugitives Alliance. So he keep the nominations the same for the week, and that's what's best for their game. Cameron draws house guest choice, which he picks Matt. Mimi also draws house guest choice, in which she picks Blue.
I think I remember, like, people were confused too why she picked her.
Also, how are there so many house guest choice? Like, I've never seen so many house guest choices in my life. And we also talk about this. This is the longest anyone has ever gone since, I believe, Eric Stein without playing in the veto. Cirie,
which is insane.
8 weeks into the game, or 9 weeks into the game, has still not been picked for the veto, which is insane. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on. Yeah, she's contractually obligated to not play in vetoes. That's definitely what's going on. So basically, Mimi says that Blue is a strong competitor. She believes in the absence of Jared. She's looking for people to align herself with, and she really wants to be that person. Blue is excited that Mimi chose her to play. If she wins, she can take her down, hopefully convince Cameron to put up Cory instead. So Felicia says she knows she can beat America because she hasn't won jack shit, and she knows that she can beat Cirie. Felicia then draws America, knowing that she's probably going to beat her. So as you can see, the majority of the people chosen are women. America, Blue, Mimi, and Felicia. 4 out of the 6 people, aside from Matt and Cameron, are women. So it would seem that, oh my God, we might actually get a woman winner here. It's been so long.
A woman winner.
Yes, we'll get into that. But it's time for the veto comp, and last night they were visited by 2 possessed girls, and it's time to find out why. They get to see a trailer for The Exorcist Believer. Whoever wins the comp is going to get to take 2 people to see the film. I feel like they do this usually like a lot later into the season. But yeah, the competition is going to be played by 2 players at a time. In the Scaryverse, Big Brother has its rituals, and they will be playing their own version of The Exorcist Believer. So for this competition, they will have to search the entire house looking for clues scratched into the walls in order to save the 2 young girls. These clues will help them find the 4 items they need to perform a Big Brother exorcism. Once they find all the items needed, they will go into the living room where a pair of girls are waiting. Once they locate them, place all 4 items on each of the 4 points of the circle. Surrounding the circle, they will then place their hand on the girls and scream, "The power of BB compels you," which will then complete in the exorcism and stop their time. Whoever does this in the fastest time will win the veto. They will also be playing the entire comp in the dark. What do you think of this comp overall?
I mean, it was very entertaining to watch. Like, obviously, it was a sponsor comp, so, but interesting. I think it was definitely, like, very enjoyable to watch. It was fun.
I didn't really like it.
I didn't love it, but it wasn't terrible.
I don't know. The whole comp I thought was pretty stupid. But
I mean, yeah, it was definitely stupid, but it was fun.
Once again, we only get the top 3 times. I don't know why they keep doing this, but only get 3 times here. Third place with a time of 9 minutes and 15 seconds is Blue. Second, and then we get to second place here with a time of 8:22. So close is Mimi. Nearly wins the veto here. I was really hoping the number 1 was going to be Felicia, but unfortunately, with a time of 7:59, it's Cameron, which means he has won the veto, has literally all the power this week.
I just want to know why the top 3 times, and we're so close to having a Blue or Mimi win.
And also, why do fucking men keep winning everything? It's so annoying. So yeah, Cameron is very happy he has all the power this week. I wonder how America and Matt did, because they didn't say, and also how Felicia did. So Blue tells Cory she figured he was going to be good since he's so focused. He says at a certain point he's winning out because he's capable of it, and down the line these comps will be more suited towards him as they're pretty close, and once they get there, he's not sure how it's really going to check out. So Cory says that he knows if Blue wins HOH, there's a good chance that she would nominate him. So he's telling her he wants to target Cam next week rather than her. I thought this was smart. He knows that Blue is coming after him. So talk about how he wants to go for Cam. I thought that was smart on Cory's end to do that. But Blue feels this is perfect for her to now have ammunition to take him out, and she wants to work some magic. At this point, you tell Blue something, it's not going to leave that room. It's going to leave that room. Like she's very leaky when it comes to information, and that's not great. So she goes right to Cameron, tells him that Cory is absolutely going after him next week, and he should use the veto and put him up. And basically, she also needs him to be knocked down a peg, and he agrees. He's super comfortable and cocky. He's also a great player, and none of this should leave here. She says that she's in the same spot that he is, and he says he's trying to make a strategic move this week. And Cameron says his number one target is still Felicia, but to put it into military terms, if there is imminent danger for him to look out for, he will shift fire and take care of the biggest target. So for a second, it seems like, oh my God, Cory might hit the block here. It was very suspenseful as to if that was going to happen. But we'll get into that. I do think this was good work from Blue, though.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was like really well done for her.
Yeah.
Like she did a pretty good job here.
Yeah, like she recognizes that, like, you know, I have Cam, I want to use him to my advantage.
Yeah, like she doesn't like him, but she's using him to her advantage.
Yeah, I think she handled that well.
Mm-hmm. So Camden lets everyone know that since he won the veto, he gets to choose 3 house guests to take the screening. So he chooses Blue, Jag, and Matt. I mean, it's no shock there.
It's literally the most obvious thing he could have done.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think it would have been really funny if he picked like Blue and like Cory in America. Like that would have been so funny.
Oh, that would have been so
Or if he chose Felicia.
Oh my God, yes. But him being in a room with all women, he would be like dying.
Yeah, he'd be, yeah.
So he's hoping in doing this, he can get the fugitives to work with Blue. They then partake in watching the film.
They get their stupid, like, scripted reactions. Oh my God, it's so scary. Like, it's so obvious. They're not actually, like, reacting to it. But whatever. Good promo, I guess.
It's funny.
Go see The Extras Believer, but actually don't because it's not good.
So Cameron then watches Cory with the fugitives and says he is playing the entire game from the seat of his pants. And
Plants?
and talks about...
Like, he's talking to his plants, and he's like, what should I do this week? His plants make the final decision.
He's playing the entire game with the seat of his pants.
What about his plants?
Blue told him. He doesn't want Felicia in the jury, but he will take the gamble to go ahead and get his ass up here right now. He wants to make Felicia think she's leaving, and he will then pull her off the block and put Cory up, and he will leave next to Mimi, and they will get out the smartest and sharpest player in this house.
Yeah, okay. This is where Cam completely loses me. Like, I think it was a good idea. Was it a good idea for him to target Cory this week? I think so. I think that Cory is somebody that people want out. I think that Cory is somebody that people would use to target Cam if he would win HOH. So I think it's smart that he does that. And it also kind of like, Matt also very much wants this to happen. Matt was very much like the one orchestrating this. Mm-hmm. Him taking down Felicia makes literally no sense. Like, why wouldn't you take down Mimi here? She was your pawn to begin with. Like, I don't understand why he would take off Felicia, because I don't think she would have left.
No, I think not at all.
And I also think that if Cory went on the block, I don't know if he would have gone.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's really hard to say there in that sense.
Yeah.
But Matt actually thinks this is a great idea to make sure him and Jag don't have to take that shot, and it will instead put the target on Cameron's back.
Oh, this is great for Matt and Jag, because they literally want this to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So
good. Jag isn't fully on board with this, thinking there is a shot that they need to take eventually, but it's too early.
Yeah, Jag is really the person to, like, really kind of, like, push back against this. And I don't think they show enough, like, how adamant Jag was on, like, not wanting this to happen.
Oh, agreed.
Because it nearly did.
Mm-hmm. Jag thinks he and Matt will have to make a decision too early and will reveal their cards, which is not good for them.
Yep.
Cameron is getting bad vibes from Jag, thinking he and Cory are close, and this will make sure he isn't. He wants to work with the fugitives here on out, but he will hold all the power this week. And if he feels someone is a bigger threat, he gets to attack that.
And let's get to the actual veto ceremony and what he does decide to do here.
All right. So it's time for the veto ceremony. Before Cam makes a decision, Mimi says he won the veto fair and square, but she will have to respect whatever decision he makes for good.
Yeah, this is the first time in seasons we actually get to see like the veto pleas. We haven't seen that in a very long time, and well, this one was a very good one.
So
yes.
So Felicia gets up and goes ahead and says all she knows how to do is be honest, and sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, but it will set her free. She brings up how she watched Cory this whole game, throwing Mimi and her under the bus, saying that they approached him about a Final Four, but he approached them, and though she may go home on Thursday, she played a brutally honest Felicia game, and that is all that matters to her.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely cut this down. Like, it feels like there was a lot more that she said that we didn't get to see. So, similar to...
Good. All of it.
I feel similar to this as I did to like Hisam's speech, where it was like really hyped up. Everyone was talking about like how intense it was, and it was like it was good. This was definitely like compared to what Hisam said. I feel like this definitely had a little bit more like fire to it. Whereas I feel like what Hisam said still is not that bad because I feel like he said more that we didn't see. But like I wish they would have shown more because I feel like there was more to this conversation that we didn't get to see.
Yeah. So. I wish like it was just cut way too short for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't like when they do that. So Cam is thinking Felicia just put Cory on everyone's radar and he just has to decide. But the episode ends before Cam can make his decision.
Yeah, what'd you think of them ending on like a cliffhanger?
Oh
I did not expect that at all.
I didn't expect that, but it was spicy because like after that, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I thought normally I'd be like, why'd you end this on a cliffhanger? But I feel like it made sense to do it here because it was like kind of a lot of the time, I always say this, like a lot of the time the pleas don't mean shit. You can say whatever and it's not going to change anything. But this is one of those times where like, oh my God, maybe Felicia did change something here. So.
Definitely. I'm fixing that, by the way.
Fixing what?
It's the Facebook post.
What's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with it. Wait, what happened?
Because my mom messaged me saying like get rid of the swearing on Facebook. So I'll fix that. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So anyway, getting into Thursday, despite a very fiery and persuasive pitch from Felicia, Cam ultimately does not use the veto. Well, makes sense. He's been targeting her all week.
Yep.
Felicia says she knew Cameron wasn't going to use the veto, but she's got to get everybody to understand there is a bigger threat than her and Cory and America. So if she can convince him that having her there to get rid of Cory, then maybe she can stay.
Yep.
Yep.
And I will also say Thursday's episode much better than the previous two that we talked about. There actually is a lot to.
Oh yeah, this was actually really good. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here.
So Mimi says she had no expectations that Cameron would use the veto. As though it is sad to be on the block against Felicia, she's absolutely not going to campaign against her, but she's not going to kiss any ass or make bullshit deals. She's just going to lay low and hope the target stays. I mean, I do wish she fought harder because, like, it's kind of her fault.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
So Cory says, historically speaking, you don't want to be called out in front of the entire house. So he does not want to duke it out with Felicia in public.
Right. We get an actual, like, kind of a fight here, but it's a lot more, like, one-sided than the other ones have been.
Yeah, it was still very entertaining, though. It was a good fight. So America calls her out saying that she has no idea what she's even saying because these Final Fours have been coming from her and Felicia immediately. And Felicia immediately says that is another lie because Cory approached her and she knows that. America continues to double down on the idea that she pushed it to Felicia, but makes it clear she's lying as is everyone.
I just don't know why America needed to say anything. Like, it was about Cory. It wasn't even about her.
I know. She really did too.
Yeah.
And everyone's faces during this was just so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they were just, like, stunned.
Especially Jags.
I know. Jag, Blue, Matt, all of them were just, like, stunned. They're like, what is happening? America says that her and Cory did, in fact, start this Final Four, but she's not going to actually say that since it's Big Brother. Felicia says to them that they need to get Cory out because he's been lying, cheating, stealing on everybody the whole season, and she asks her how long her game will last. riding under Cory, and she hasn't done anything so far, and America tries to say she isn't being carried.
Yeah, America does not handle this conversation well, like, at all.
No.
Like, she's trying, but it's like she doesn't.
It's not really working.
She doesn't do much to prove otherwise.
Cory during this starts to walk away, which Felicia notices, and he says he doesn't want to do this and says he'd love to talk to her privately. And she says no, because a private conversation is where he can lie, and they all know he does it because he will come back and tell her what he hears. And then she tells him to go play pool. She tells him to go play pool, but she doesn't.
I feel like it's going to be an iconic line. Like, everyone's going back to that for sure.
So funny.
I did want to mention that Cory and Felicia actually did end up having like a conversation about this, and it actually ended up going like really well. Like, she admitted what happened and things like that, and he kind of talked about like why he was upset by what she did, and I feel like they're like on better terms now, and I feel like it was kind of a conversation that they needed. So I wish the episode would have shown that. I understand why, obviously, because it's a Thursday episode, and you really got to be like selective with what you show on a Thursday episode because you have a live eviction and an HOH to do. But worth noting, they did have a conversation about this.
Oh yeah, which is like it was a really big conversation.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Wait, why spoilers? I just said that.
Oh. Sorry.
It's not spoilers. I just said that.
Sorry.
They don't show it in the episode.
Yeah. I wish they did.
Yeah.
So America doesn't like the fact that Cory isn't standing up for her and has instead chosen to walk off. She wants him to be her knight in shining armor. So she continues talking to Felicia, saying she's throwing him under the bus, and Felicia says everything she is saying is true, and they probably are going to vote with her anyway. So meanwhile, Cam watches all of this in one of the nominations chairs clapping. Yeah.
Can we circle back to what America said? Because I agree with her. Like, Cory's biggest issue in this game is that he doesn't stand up enough for America. He kind of just lets her like take the heat for things. And I feel like if he was a lot better at like putting out fires, I feel like they'd be in like a significantly better position than they are right now.
Definitely. Like, they're just not in a good spot.
No. And he doesn't realize it. He thinks they're still where they were a week ago. Yeah. And they're not.
Like, love them, but they're just not good game players.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, they're just not very strategic.
No.
So Cameron says Felicia's out the door and it's game over. But now she's slinging negatives all over Cory, and it can't get any better, and he hopes she keeps pinning the red target on her back. Cameron talks to Cirie and says while it didn't turn ugly, it was good she wasn't there.
Yeah.
Honestly. Cirie said she is not helping all with this vote, and she needed Felicia and Mimi's help to save Jared. And she didn't get it, so she's not lifting a finger to help either of them and will be minding her business.
Yeah, I love that she's just like, yeah, fuck it. Like, they didn't help me, so I'm not going to help them.
She's just like, oh, I'm just going to vibe this week. I'm going to chill.
Yep. As she should, honestly.
As she should, honestly, yeah. So Cory says, well, the Felicia call-out was bad and weird. It's way more concerning that Blue was trying to have him backdoored before the veto meeting as the only person who gave him a heads up about it. And it's Cameron. Which, I mean, Cameron wanted you backdoor too, sir.
Yep.
Read the room. So we see a scene of him completely throwing her under the bus in an attempt to paint the blame onto Blue and not him. Cory feels she is way too attached to Matt and Jag and has been spewing shit to them.
Yeah, I mean, Cameron really messes up here, I think, throwing Blue under the bus, because this could, like, easily get back to Blue, and then she's going to want to target Cameron. Like, I don't think he needed to do this at all.
No, not at all.
Like, the best way to not tell someone you're going to backdoor them is to not tell them you're going to backdoor them. Like, that's the best thing that he could have done here.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Blaming Blue literally makes no sense, especially because, like, she wants to work with Cam.
Oh, no, it's like that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So he talks to America about this, saying he needs to talk to Matt and Jag about Blue because of how much he has been scheming against him. His concern is Cam telling Matt and Jag, but not telling him anything, and she wonders why they haven't said anything. And Cory says Blue has to go next week. Blue definitely has her moments.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, it's me. So he goes to talk to Matt and tells him that he doesn't care about the Felicia stuff at all. She will do what she does, and then brings up what Cameron told him. So Matt wants to make Cory think what Blue pushed was barely entertained and was shut down right away. And I will say, every single week, I feel like Matt gets better as a player. I think that he he knows what he's doing strategically. He's in a really good spot now. He's really kind of in this place where he can kind of just like be this like snake for everybody, and they don't even realize that he's doing it. And I think that honestly, this conversation I thought was really good for Matt, especially because, and they didn't really show us in the episode, Matt was really the person driving Cory. He wanted Cory out. He was very much behind this backdoor. It was very important for this to happen. So I was very impressed by Matt in this conversation and how well he was able to take the blame off of himself here.
Oh yeah, Matt has been just like so good the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
like
he has.
He's in such a good spot, and he's just like so smart too.
Yeah.
Like he's really killing it.
Yeah,
with the social game and everything.
Yeah, so he does this by saying Cameron wants to make it work, and while they're scared of each other, he doesn't have to worry about either him or Jag. He just has to worry about Blue, and Cory says he needs to target her next week. Cory isn't buying this at all. He wants him to still make it seem like he believes it to prevent him being in danger. And Matt says his goal is to make sure that Cory and Blue start gunning after each other next week. So they're not going to come after him. So Jackman talks to Cameron about what happened, saying that it went really well and he's surprised by how much Cory just got attacked. And says that he's the new Cameron. Felicia then comes in asking how bad they think she will up her game. And Cameron asks her, what game? Because it's blown and it'll be a tough road from here, but at least she got stuff off her chest and he's sure that there's more. So Felicia says she's not giving up any hope and she's got some work to do. She's still got her faith of a mustard seed and all things are possible. So Felicia talks about how while they're worried about her in the jury house, they need to worry about Cory in the jury house. Leave her in the house and she'll take the big shot, but she's not scared, unlike them. So she talks to Jag and says that she knows that she's brave and bold, and he says that that's why she's here. And she says that she can be a shield for them because whatever shot they want her to make, she will, in fact, make it. And again, very good campaigning from Felicia here. I think she's doing a very good job at showing like why I need to, why am I important to your game? You know, she does that very well here.
Oh, she's fantastic here. Like such good work from her.
Yeah. So Jag says she's making some solid points, but there are people in this house that really want her gone, so keeping her here will be tricky, but he's not opposed to exploring it, though. However, they will have to be delicate about it because doing so could expose him and Matt. So Jag and Matt talk about how Felicia would target Cory if she stayed. However, Mimi has a chance to target Cory, and Mimi has more of a chance of beating Felicia in anything, so they should just go ahead and get her out. So Bowie is unsure if they have enough votes. Jag says that they do, but then it will be like drawing a line, and he really doesn't want to overplay it. So they should just wait until it's time to pitch it to everyone, and they should just keep working underground. So Jag says that they could get the votes, but they will have to convince Cory and America to keep her, even though she just cooked them. So Jag and Matt talk to Cory. Cory brings up the possibility of actually saving Felicia without her knowing. And America says, fuck that. She's not into this idea at all. She's like, we're not doing that. So Cory brings up how Mimi has a better shot at winning HOH. Felicia doesn't, and they can engineer it so it's a 5-2 vote, where the only 2 votes to vote out Felicia are Cirie and Blue, who had a better relation with Cirie. I love how Cory thinks he's doing something here when like Matt and Jag already had this idea and he doesn't realize it. Like, very good work from both of them. But I mean,
I'm sure Cirie or someone let Blue in on the plan.
Yeah. So America says after this blow up, she doesn't want her in the house, but Matt and Jag seem to sway her on the fact that Mimi is a very strong competitor and has almost won quite a few times. She's much easier to beat than Felicia, and she's much easier to beat Felicia in the house. And Jag says that this is going off without a hitch at this point. It's Minutemen time, and Cory says that the real benefit here is if Matt or Jag leave, Blue out a vote is no longer Blue versus Cory. It's Blue against the entire house, and there's some benefit there despite how crazy it sounds. And yeah, at this point, it seemed like, okay, Blue's the house target next week. Like, everyone's going after Blue. She's going to be out of the loop. We'll get into that.
They think Blue is just the mastermind.
No, that's not. I don't think that's what they're trying to do. I think it's more like if we leave Blue out of this vote, everyone's going to want to vote Blue out because she didn't vote with us last round. So I feel like I don't think it's that they think she's a mastermind. I think it's that.
Since Reilly.
I mean, yes and no. Blue has thrown Jag under the bus before, and Jag's aware of it, and that's why I don't think Jag and Blue are ever going to have the relationship that they did at like the beginning of the game.
Yeah, the game wise.
But I do. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. But I do think that Blue does definitely have her moments. The problem is that other people usually pitch her ideas and things like that. So, but yeah, at this point, it seemed like the flip was going off without a hitch. I mean, this has kind of been a thing all season where there's been people entertaining flips every single week, but this is one of the few weeks where it actually does seem to be going on. And at this point, did you actually think Mimi was going?
I mean, at first I thought she would stay.
Yeah.
But then, after they were like, let's flip, I'm like, okay, it could flip. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't usually believe it until the episode.
Especially this cast. Because they're very
chaotic.
Yeah, it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? I forgot what the word was. But yeah, it's a very fluid cast. It's a very fluid cast in terms of the vote and things like that. So it's time for the live vote and eviction. Felicia is then up first to plea. She talks about how it's been 65 days and she hopes it's not the end of her journey. She's enjoyed every minute on the fate of a mustard seed and all things are possible. It's a very basic plea overall. Mimi gives a very strong plea here, saying that how much she loves her husband and mom, saying that she's played this game with intention and integrity. She knows that loose lips sink ships, which is why she's played a very calm and steady game. And if they want to move forward with someone who won't sabotage or manipulate them into doing her dirty work, she hopes that she can get their vote tonight. So
yeah, that's one was a good play. It was
I thought it was.
They're both very simple.
I thought Felicia's was a little too basic.
I mean,
Mimi's I liked a lot more.
Yeah, but I definitely agreed. Mimi's was better, but they were still both just very simple. Please.
Yeah. So after what's turned out to be a pretty straightforward week, they actually do end up flipping the vote here, with Mimi leaving by a vote of 8-0.
So I guess, Blue was probably let in on the plan before.
Yeah, which I was shocked about because it seemed like the whole thing was we can't tell Blue about this, but I guess that
maybe
changed.
Cirie told her. I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
Cirie, maybe.
I don't know.
Or maybe Matt. I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe we'll find out in the next episode. But before Mimi leaves, she does something that I thought was pretty iconic.
Oh, yeah, it was so good.
She hugs everyone except for America and Cory. She calls them out, saying that they are in a 3 with Bowie and they shouldn't let them win the game. Yeah, this was really random with Bowie. I don't understand why she's talked.
She went this to Cory.
Well, she talked in interviews about the fact that she saw the 3 of them having conversations and things like that, but nothing was confirmed. So I don't know why she specifically grouped those 3 together. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was still a really flashy and iconic moment. It's just a lot of the time when you are calling out somebody in the house, it usually has the opposite effect where they aren't targeted the next week. So even though she's saying American Cory should go, they're probably not going to go just because that's how Big Brother usually goes. Perfect example, Big Brother 22. Remember when they're Mecole and Cory or Mecole and Cody are playing everyone? Look, they literally got final 3, so it didn't matter. So yeah. But yeah, Mimi ends up leaving here. We get to her interview with Julie, which I thought was actually a pretty good interview. She asked her about how she blew off America Cory. Mimi says that she knows sabotage when she sees it. They spend all season pretending to be her friend, wanting to work together, but she never trusts them and they never trusted her. What she doesn't realize is that America and Cory were trying to protect her all week long, actually. And the fact that she didn't really campaign to them, they basically just said, fuck it, and realized they couldn't do anything. But American Cory were actually on Mimi's side. They weren't coming after her. So.
Oh, yeah. Literally. Ugh.
Not great reads on her part.
No,
so,
Mimi's, I love Mimi, but she was just, her reads were not good.
Well, sometimes they were.
I mean, they were,
but in this case, they
were.
But
there's America, Cory, and Bowie are not a trio.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
And then this was
I'm talking about her interview.
And then her interview, her reads are so off.
Yeah. So when asked about why the vote flipped on her, she says she knew going into the week there was a possibility she would be leaving the house, seeing her as a strong competitor, so she wasn't surprised. She also didn't campaign to stay, thinking that she'd win the veto, and thought if she had 23 less seconds to spare, she would have walked away with it. Julie then reveals to her that 2 house guests are late, and yeah, I mean, I agree with her. Obviously, she almost did it. And then Julie reveals to her that 2 house guests are related to each other. she at first thinks she's talking about America and Cam, and which was so random. Let me just say, I guess that like,
oh, that was so funny. She's like, she basically thought it was like America and Cam were related because of like some Texas
yeah,
sort
she
of
like they
thing.
had like a Texas connection. She said that in like an interview, I believe. But then Julie drops the bomb that it was Jared and Cirie, and she is probably one of the best reactions
Oh, I
of
love her
everybody.
reaction. It's so fun.
But yeah, she's shocked and says she had no idea about this. I thought that was very fun. Also, the last time we're going to hear about this until the finale. So I am going to miss Julie telling everybody that. But we'll see it again in the finale. So,
Yeah.
you know, and also it's not relevant information anymore. Like Jared's not in the house, so it doesn't really matter. And he's not on jury, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I thought this was definitely fun. I will say I saw a compilation of like everybody reacting to it. I think Hisam's is probably my favorite.
Oh god.
Just the way that he's like he wasn't even like shocked. He was like, oh, that makes sense. Like he got that clarity in his head.
Like so like fake sounding though.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, he's like, just like how he said it.
No, I thought I didn't think it was fake sound. I thought it was more like kind of like the light bulb going off.
Gave him a fake vibe.
I thought it was funny. Yeah, I would say his was probably my favorite reaction out of everybody's. But she then gets goodbye messages from Matt, America, and Cirie, who kind of shades her for not keeping Jared and saying that this is her karma. I thought that was pretty good. But she says she's grateful for being here. She hopes that she made everyone proud. She tried to play as hard as she could, thinking she would win more, but it's easier when watching on TV versus when she's actually in there, but would love to play again. And yeah, I mean, let's talk about Mimi for a little bit. Mimi was very much like the outlier in this cast. This was a cast that was very just very messy and chaotic, and she was the
more like very level-headed.
She was the complete opposite of that. She was much more reserved, very level-headed, never really getting to a point where she never really getting to a point where she was like very messy in that way. But I feel like it was to her detriment. I think Mimi's biggest issue in the game is that she herself had different interests than everybody else, but she never really pushed them as hard as she could have. I mean, she did at some points, but I feel like there was always more that she could have done to like apply herself. Like, especially her being in the storage room was fun at first, but when you keep doing that and we don't really get to see that side of you, like game wise, it was just very frustrating. I feel like Mimi had a lot of potential and she just never really got to show it. I don't really blame anyone except her for doing that. I think she had opportunities to start showing her more strategic self, start showing her more, start showing her reads and things like that. She knew what was going on throughout most of the game, like very well. Like she knew getting rid of Hisam was not the greatest idea, but didn't really enforce it that hard. She didn't want Red to go over Jag, but she didn't really enforce it that much.
In that sense, sometimes she should have fought harder.
Yeah, she should have fought a lot harder, but I also think that there were agendas that she needed to push. I think in some cases it was.
Sometimes she just could have, especially with being on block against Felicia.
The fact that she didn't campaign.
She didn't campaign until the day of.
Yeah, she didn't campaign at all week. Which is like, you can never feel that safe. I understand that like she was banking on the veto, but the second that she lost that veto, she should have been campaigning. Hell, even before that, you should still be campaigning because you can't always guarantee that you're winning veto. And I feel like she convinced herself so hard that she would, that she just didn't bother campaigning. And that's exactly why she left when she did. That being said, I don't think I would have ever expected her to get pre-jury. Literally a couple weeks ago, we were saying Mimi could very well win this game. Mimi's going to be there at the end.
Literally, like her and Matt.
Yeah. I just feel like she didn't apply herself. Like that's what I chalk it up to, is that the difference between her and Matt is that Matt has really like applied his knowledge to the game, but he's also like evolved as the game has gone on. Mimi has been one way the entire game and she hasn't really progressed.
She doesn't regret.
Yeah, that was also her biggest issue, is that she didn't talk to people that weren't in Brown Sugar Babes, and it really ended up costing her. Like, I thought for sure when she was pulled in for the vote flip against Izzy, like, oh my God, this is her chance to like really start like spreading her wings a bit more and like getting to make these connections that she needs. And she never really took advantage of that. So yeah, I mean, I do think in many ways Mimi did do this to herself. I think if she had a better relationship with Cory or America or Jag or Matt, this would not have happened. But it's the fact that she was not able to apply herself. I think that's why she ended up going instead of Felicia. So I think we'd be having a much different conversation if she did put in that effort. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Felicia also has branched out a lot more.
Oh, yeah. She was the first person I drafted.
I think so.
Because, like,
yeah, you did.
Super high hopes for her. She was like my winner go.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm so disappointed she was last pre-jury.
Yeah, definitely.
But like it would have been prevented. She would have been a jury if they didn't have that twist.
Yeah.
But whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, she would have been and if Jag wasn't saved.
Yeah, that's true.
She would have also been in jury. But
yeah,
you know, unfortunately not the case. I mean, yeah. But the good thing is we're at jury now, so
he's gonna come back eventually and like kill it for second chance.
Yeah, because I mean, people have been joking all season that Mimi's never going to talk to these people again. She's going to write them all off. I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like, yeah, I think Cam's going to be the person they just disassociate with, and Luke, obviously. Red, yeah. Maybe Bowie. Although I don't know, because you know. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel so bad. I was like, I had such high hope.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But love her. It was it's kind of her fault that she left.
It was. It was. I'm not going to try to pretend it wasn't. Yeah, and I feel like we've kind of been giving her a lot of credit for things that I do think was deserving, but it's like, what do you do with those things? She never did anything with it. And yes, I can confirm she was your winner pick right here. She was the first person that you picked. So anyway, let's move forward here.
So it's that time for the next 11
we love.
We love having
yeah. So better.
So then we get like a video. It's throughout the day, the house guests the hologram on the screen. Yeah. It's a bunch of pictures of evicted house guests with ridiculous skin filters. Jag jokingly calls out Hisam for saying right a lot, which honestly, that was so funny. I actually like this segment. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Oh, wow. I just realized you have like 3 people left in the draft, and then you're out. And I don't think any of them can win except one.
I have who?
You have Cam, America, and Jag. That's it.
I feel like the one making it for this is probably America.
I don't think she's winning though.
She'll probably get like 4.
Yeah.
But
so anyway. I'm probably winning. Let's go.
I'm also out of the top 10 Kely draft.
Oh yeah. Well, shout out to Jen and Topher. We love them. Yes.
But yeah, also it's just because a lot of people that we thought would make us fun.
Yeah. Yeah, looking back, I mean, this is one of the strangest pre-juries, I think, in Big Brother history. There's so many people I would have expected to go farther, and they did not.
It's just disappointing.
Yeah.
But anyway, for this competition, they will be answering questions based on the posts they studied throughout the previous day. They will answer either true or false. For every correct answer, they will receive 1 point. The house guest that gets the most correct answers after 7 questions will be the new HOH unless there is a tie. Yeah,
I like that it was a quiz comp.
Yeah.
It's, we like a good quiz comp. We haven't seen enough of those in this season, so I like seeing that. And I also like that the women basically dominate this comp.
As they should, because we had not had women HOH except for Reilly.
Yeah.
Which is not normal.
No.
So after many rounds, it comes down to a tie between Felicia and Bowie Jane. With fucking Bowie Jane winning HOH. With a very strange guess of 27 minutes. But apparently she couldn't hear Julie very well.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, because the tiebreaker, I believe, was how many minutes was it till Jared, how many minutes was Jared a zombie in the house or something crazy like that. Felicia put like 3,000, I believe.
It was like 4 or something.
Yeah,
And-
something crazy like that.
And then wasn't hers like something else, but she changed her answer?
There was 27 minutes, and then she changed it to 270, which was closer to the answer.
Yeah.
So
It was like, I think it stopped.
yeah, she put a 6 in front of it, is what she did. But she did originally put 27 and then changed it to 6 and put a 6 in front of it.
It's funny.
But yeah, Bowie winning HOH. How did you feel about this? Because I don't think anybody saw this coming.
Down to the two of them, I was really hoping.
Oh yeah, I'm so here for Felicia winning. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then rubbing in Cam's face, yeah.
Going into it because it is unexpected.
Yeah.
First, I'm like, okay, she's probably going to be too loyal to Kely.
Yeah.
But you never know because she is very just does her own thing.
But yeah. Well, and spoilers.
Because she wasn't doing a lot prior to this.
Yeah, and I will say spoilers. Probably the best HOA train so far.
Yes.
I think
So good.
honestly, inarguably, the best HOA train so far. So
which we'll talk about in the next time.
yeah, we'll talk about it in the next podcast. But a very unexpected win, but a very welcome one. I feel we love seeing a woman win HOH finally. It's been too long.
If it wasn't one of those two, I was kind of thinking it could have been like America or Blue winning too.
I don't think America can win comps. I think Blue can.
She's
come close.
The one comp that America almost won, she gave to Cam.
Yeah, I think that was their only opportunity. I don't think America's going to win again.
Yeah, I can see Blue.
I don't want to counter out, but like I
And then-
think we might have to start doing it.
Funny, like at the beginning of the comp when Cirie was just like obviously throwing it.
Yeah,
Funny.
yeah,
Like everyone got it right except for her.
yeah.
But yeah, it was. We were also at Renee Rapp when this was going on.
We were. Shout out to Renee Rapp. She's definitely watching.
She's amazing as an artist and a performer. Everything.
Yes. Great concert.
Oh yeah. But anyway, there's just one more thing before the episode ends. Julie then makes the announcement to them that everyone has officially made jury.
Thank God.
It's
like
it's like day 60, 70, something like
it's
that.
like the Titanic.
Literally. It has been though. So this week we'll also reintroduce Thingbot and end with a comic verse takeover that will twist up the week.
Yeah. What do you think this twist is, personally?
Why? But I kind of feel like it could be like a safety chain, but like maybe whoever's evicted gets to start it.
I could see that. That'd be cool.
Like I just don't want to like.
Just don't be a buyback.
Please don't be a buyback. I just because we already had that.
Yeah, and I don't want someone to come back.
Like we already had.
And also, how would they do a buyback? It's the starter jury.
Yeah, I don't.
So what else would this be?
I feel like I mean, they like to steal things from Big Brother Canada. So
yeah, so I feel
safety chain.
I feel like it's definitely a safety chain because a lot of the time they do borrow things from like BK cams.
Pick the first person.
Yeah, that would make the most sense to me. So I feel like it's probably a safety chain of sorts. But either way, finally in jury, and we only have like 5 weeks left of the season. So
that's crazy.
Isn't it weird to be talking about Big Brother in October?
I know.
Like it's literally October and we're talking about Big Brother still.
Also, this one's still long.
Yeah.
Not as long as the other one, but still long.
Yeah. But anyway, before we do wrap this up, I mean, we're at jury now. Who do you think has the best chances of like taking it all at this point?
After this week too, obviously I'm not gonna give too many spoilers, but
yeah.
My 3 winner picks right now are Matt, Cirie, and Bowie.
Yeah, I agree. I think that those 3 have positioned themselves very well at this point. I would give like a slight edge to Jag. I think he's done a very good job.
It's hard to say where he's gonna go. I think he's gonna get like 5th.
But I also don't know if they're going to respect him knowing that he was already almost like he was voted out. So I don't know if they're going to respect that.
Cory's definitely gone soon.
Yeah, Blue as well, I think, is gone soon.
Blue, it's hard to say though. Like if she starts winning comps, like if she starts actually winning,
maybe
she could do well. But
I think the biggest wild card right now is Felicia, and I've been saying that since she stayed over Izzy. I have no idea where she's going.
Vibes from her right now.
Yeah, I could see that.
But we'll see.
But I also think that Felicia. Because here's the thing: Felicia has like a really strong arc now, where it's like I've survived 2 times, basically unanimously. You know, I was the target both times, and I survived. Like I think she definitely has like that arc of sorts, and I think people are gonna kind of overlook that. So if she's at the end, like watch out. I think she could win.
It's such a. if Cameron goes soon, I don't care who.
Yeah, literally, as long as Cam goes, like I'm fine with whoever wins. Either way, like I think we're gonna have a really good winner this season. I'm very excited to see how it all wraps up.
Yeah.
I don't think that there is a bad. Okay, if America or Blue won, I don't know if it would be the greatest.
That way they would win. It's just like I don't know. It's hard to say because like
Yeah.
America hasn't really done much besides like one thing.
Yeah.
Blue has her moments.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would be here for a Blue America final too because I know they're kind of gunning for each other, but
I don't think
like they love each other, but they also don't trust each other.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'd be cool because they did have that final two.
Blue.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting if they were final two. But who'd win? I think Blue would win.
She's more friends on the jury.
She would definitely. Oh yeah, I think most people would respect her more.
Yeah, I would say after this week, I think Bowie honestly has a really good chance.
Could see even Cory voting for her.
Yeah. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think those three are probably like. Yeah. Yeah. I think those three are definitely positioned the best, though. I would be happy with any of them winning. I think they've all played like really solid games. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how this all wraps up. I hope that it's not boring. I hope that we stop seeing Matt and Jag winning everything and Cam winning everything because it's so boring when that happens. But very excited to see how this next week plays out. And yeah, but before we do wrap this up, Allie, I think we do have some things to plug.
All right. So stay tuned for.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
All right, stay tuned for this past week's Survivor because we didn't get to do episode 2 live because it was our 3-year.
We finally watched it.
So we finally watched that. So we'll be doing that pretty soon.
Yeah. We'll soon.
Yeah, we'll be covering that very shortly.
Cake and then.
Yeah, have some Thanksgiving cake and then do that. And then stay tuned for the first 2 episodes of the Traders Canada, which we'll probably do tomorrow night when you're home. But we'll probably watch them tonight though.
Yeah.
And then obviously our season reviews we're just gonna do whenever we have time.
Yeah.
Like maybe a lot of them we're probably just gonna do when like Survivor and Big Brother are over.
Yeah. Just
because there's so much like we're so busy.
I did want to mention, I don't know when the show's coming out. Deal or No Deal Island is something we'll probably cover.
And then maybe House of Villains.
Yeah. House of Villains comes out.
Should we do a cast assessment for that?
No, because I don't know anybody.
I mean, we didn't really know the traders.
It's true, we didn't.
So we'll see.
I'm sure people are wondering about BBUK. I don't know if we're gonna do it. It's like 6 episodes, and
even if it's 6 weeks or whatever, but like 6 episodes a week is a lot.
I might be Big Brothered out, to be honest with you, for a bit.
If we cut that, it's probably just gonna be a season review.
Yeah, I don't know.
6 episodes a week is probably like 20 pages at least.
No, that's not some fun.
No.
So.
But yeah, and then obviously stay tuned for this week's Big Brother, which we'll be covering later on this week, which I'm excited for. And also, Taylor Swift's Eras movie comes out this week.
Yay!
So I'm so excited to go see that on Friday.
That is exciting.
I took that day off of work, so I am very hyped for that.
Don't be about the theater.
Oh, absolutely not. Because like this is not an actual concert; it's a movie.
And also, don't fucking
like you have to be singing, but I'm not going to be like going and singing.
Scream in like other auditoriums, trying to get people to see the movie because there's other movies out, and we want people to enjoy them.
We don't want to interrupt other people's movies.
Yes, please. Just keep it to a minimum. You can sing, but maybe don't like scream.
Just don't scream. Don't be obnoxious.
Yes.
Just be mature.
Maybe sing like you're in a library. That's kind of what we want. Sing like you're in a library. You know, like the librarian and all that. That's like, this is a library. Like, just think of her yelling at you, and then you'll be fine. So yeah. No. In all seriousness, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy. As always, comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought of this week of BB25 overall, and who do you think is gonna take this whole thing? We're getting very close to the end,
and then if you want to guess, just hit us up.
Yes, definitely. Can't believe the season is finally ending, even though it feels like it's been like 23 years. But anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember, couples who podcast together, stay together. We will see you guys later. We will see you like literally in like probably an hour.
Ish.
Yeah.